As chants of "Kill Bibi," "Kill Trump" echo across Iran, is the public demand for revenge growing stronger than ever? Have emotions reached a boiling point as thousands gather to bid a final farewell to Iran's late supreme leader? Why have Iran's streets been flooded with mourners, seeking one last glimpse of Ayatollah Khamenei? As anti-U.S. and anti-Israel rhetoric intensifies, is Iran preparing to pursue an eye-for-an-eye response? Could Trump risk targeting Mojtaba during Iran's most emotional moment, or would that ignite an even bigger crisis? Emotions are running extraordinarily high as massive funeral ceremonies continue for Iran's late supreme leader across the country. Thousands of Iranians gathered across the region for the second day of Ayatollah Khamenei's state funeral ceremonies. Anti-Trump and anti-Netanyahu slogans echoed loudly across Iran during a massive funeral gathering held in Tehran. In Tehran, chants calling for the death of U.S. President Donald Trump were also led by a public speaker. Trump was repeatedly referred to as the man who killed my imam during the emotionally charged funeral ceremony. The slogan was a reference to the 2020 U.S. drone strike that killed top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. "Kill Donald Trump" posters were also raised prominently throughout the funeral procession in Tehran. Why is the most man in the world still alive? An Iranian poet asked the crowd during his address. Iran's armed forces also chanted religious slogans while beating their chests in mourning for Ayatollah Khamenei. Not just Trump, "Kill Bibi" slogans and posters also echoed throughout the Imam Khomeini Grand Mosalla complex. Several banners displayed at the Tehran venue also carried warnings of revenge against U.S. President Donald Trump. The late Iranian supreme leader's remains will lie in state until he is laid to rest on July 9th. Mourners dressed in black carried flags and banners paying tribute to Khamenei through the streets of Tehran on July 4th. The rally coincided with Trump's address marking the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. Iranian President Pezeshkian and Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf attended the national mourning prayers. Revolutionary Guard Chief Ahmad Vahidi and Quds Force Commander Esmail Khani were also present at the ceremony. Khamenei's sons, Mostafa, Masoud and Maisam Khamenei, made their first public appearance since the war. Mojtaba Khamenei did not appear at the ceremony despite succeeding his father as Iran's supreme leader. Iran's growing calls for revenge come as U.S. President Donald Trump recently threatened fresh military action against the country's leadership. Donald Trump said he could meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu next week after the NATO summit. Trump told Axios that he and Netanyahu get along very well and said the Israeli leader knows who the boss is. Trump said Netanyahu had requested a meeting at the White House during his upcoming visit to Washington. The meeting would be their first since February, following the joint U.S.-Israeli military strikes against Iran. Trump said he was closely monitoring the funeral ceremonies for Iran's late supreme leader Ali Khamenei. He claimed Iran was begging to make a deal after the recent U.S.-Israeli military campaign against Tehran. Trump said negotiations were paused during the mourning period and claimed both sides avoided strikes during the funeral. Trump also questioned the public displays of mourning, suggesting the tears seen at Khamenei's funeral maybe were fake. Axios reported, and I quote, "Trump claimed the Iranians are begging to make a deal, but said both sides decided to take a week off from the talks until the events around Khamenei's funeral end. In the meantime," he said, "neither side will shoot at the other. They are all there. One shot and we can take them all out. But we are not going to do that because then we would have nobody to negotiate with," Trump said. He added that he was surprised to see some Iranians crying at the funeral, saying he thought people hated Khamenei. "Maybe it's fake tears," Trump mused. Unquote. Meanwhile, Israeli influencer Hanania Naftali publicly took a swipe at Trump over his comments on Iran. Naftali rejected Trump's claims of showing restraint during Iran's official mourning period after Khamenei's death. He argued that leaders who believe they must be kind to their enemies are unfit to lead a country. A classified report reportedly warned that up to 3,000 people could die during Khamenei's funeral, setting off alarm across Iran's security establishment. Die Welt said Iranian authorities are preparing for a possible mass casualty event, turning the funeral into a worst-case scenario operation. The report cited a classified Iranian document sent to senior government officials, suggesting the state is planning for the most dangerous outcome. Authorities have reportedly drawn up emergency plans for a worst-case scenario, fearing the crowds could spiral out of control. The document allegedly projects 1,500 to 3,000 possible deaths during the ceremonies, a staggering figure that has intensified concern. The claims have not been independently verified by other news organizations, so the reported figures remain unconfirmed. A special unit has reportedly been created to manage the dead and missing if disaster strikes during the funeral events. Thousands of graves have reportedly been prepared at Tehran's Behesht Zara cemetery, in case the situation turns fatal. A municipal employee claimed the prepared graves already exist and are ready if needed, adding to the shock around the report. Officials reportedly fear huge crowds and extreme heat could trigger a deadly disaster, especially as thousands gather for the ceremonies. Funeral ceremonies are expected to continue across Iran and Iraq over several days, stretching the security challenge across borders. Khamenei is scheduled to be buried in Mashhad after the week-long funeral, marking the end of the state mourning process.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.